Hey, it's me Roland, and this is Bilingual Analytics, where I help you to learn more about Power BI. In today's episode, I'm going to show you that Power BI reports are not always sales reports. Of course, those type of reports are easy to work with and use them for demo purposes, but sometimes we can think outside of the box. So get prepared, as I'm going to take you to my newly built, state-of-the-art shopping center called PBI Mall.
Let's go to the mall, everybody!
So what are we going to cover today? In this example, I'm going to use the layout of my mall and divide it into smaller sections. For each section, I'm going to measure how many people stop there to look for information. This could be done with some high-tech AI-enhanced cameras or with some low-tech student workforce to record different activities and different details. But my end goal would be to place those info desks or those shop locators at the most convenient locations. This could provide a better visitor experience, and as a result of that, more people in my mall. And maybe, using a little bit of my commercial acumen, I will be able to use this information to rent out places where people stop more frequently, to pop-up stores or food vendors. Additionally, it could provide some insights into facility management as well, such as where do I need to sanitize surfaces more frequently. If you like this idea and want to see more videos like this, don't be afraid to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. It also helps a lot to spread the love about Power BI. Before we head over to my PC, allow me to quickly cover the main tool I'm going to use today. It's called Synoptic Panel by DataViz. It's a certified custom visual that you can download from the App Stores or from GitHub, and it comes with a designer tool as well that allows us to use our layout to create an SVG file to be used in Power BI. Alternatively, if you just want to explore this tool, you can open the gallery and use one of the general elements that are available to download, or the country territory section. Really good stuff. Without further ado, let's start by designing my layout with Synoptic Designer. This is the layout of PBI Mall, and as you see, there are 4 large shops at each corner, 2 car parks, one at the top end and another one at the bottom end, a bus stop on the left and a train stop on the right. I reckon we found a really good location to build this PBI Mall. These light and dark grey squares are the shops. We have 28 in total. It's about quality, not quantity. And in the middle, there is a large food court. Of course, this is just something that I drew up for this demo, but if you know any real-life shopping centers that look like this, let me know in the comments below. I'm going to add my layout to the designer and start drawing those areas I want to monitor. I'm not going to explain how all of this works, as it is fairly intuitive, and you can also read the docs on your own. There's no need for you to sit this through, so I'm just going to speed up this process. I divided the mall into 20 sections, and as I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to record how many people stop to look for more information within those sections to gain better understanding about visitor behavior. Not only that, but I'm also going to record additional details. Details like who stopped, I mean single, couple, family, or elderly, and when did that happen. There is great value in knowing all of that, and maybe the data will reveal some sort of a relationship between certain data points that I will be able to utilize later down the track. But essentially, all of these could be implemented in a real-life project, so I tried my very best to come up with dummy data. Now, back to Power BI. To download the Synoptic Panel custom visual, click on the 3 dots in the visualization pane, get more visual, and search for Synoptic Panel. Download the custom visual and you are good to go. Place the visual on the canvas and add the category and the measure field to it. I'm going to use location name as a category and number of activity as a measure. To import the layout that we just created, go to the top left corner of the visual and click on Local Maps button. By default, the DataViz will look something like this. Not too insightful, but we have heaps of options to fine-tune it. That's when the DataViz magic happens. Let's start by changing the data colors from the default greenish to, let's say, a red one. Additionally, we can enable saturation, which will automatically create a heat map for us. The darker or less transparent an area is, the more frequently people stop there. This is why I think it resembles a heat map. We can also add data labels to further guide the report users. But what I really like about this custom visual is the ability to create different states and different color coding for our measure. Let's open the states submenu. We can choose the comparison type, meaning it can be greater than comparison, or greater than or equal to, and so on. Also, we can drive color coding based on different values or different thresholds for our measure. There are 5 different states or grouping that we can create here. I know that in my dummy dataset, the maximum activity count is 1312 and the minimum is 1130. For this demo, I'm going to create 5 different groups with 5 different colors. Please note that I wouldn't suggest doing this in a live report. I'm only doing this to showcase what's possible using Synoptic Panel. It would be way too many colors in such a small map, especially with multiple gradients in it. So it is not a DataViz best practice, just an example of what's possible. The values that I'm going to use will be 1300, 1275, 1250, 1225, and 1200. And I'm going to assign some colors to these states as well. When all of this is done, you will get something like this. Different sections in the map, highlighted in different colors, based on the number of activities logged against them. Not only that, but even within a state we have different shades for each section, indicating ranking within a color group. Have a look at what happens when I disable saturation. All areas within a state will have the exact same color. Looking at this report, I can easily decide where to put my info kiosks and where to place those shop locators within the mall to better guide my visitors. You can see that with this custom visual, we can expand Power BI's potential from sales reports to something that I would call an operational report, or something like that. But hey, this is not the end. As I mentioned in the beginning, with some commercial acumen, we can fine-tune this map. In other words, start slicing and dicing the data and explore insights that we couldn't do before. Let's head back to Power BI Desktop and see a couple of these examples. I start from the same map, but on the left-hand side I have 4 slicers. One for the area or group of smaller sections, another one for the type of activity that was recorded, and 2 more for day and daytime. Once I start filtering my data based on these details, I can find more and more insights and better ways to use this activity data for commercial purposes. Let's filter down the report to the food court area, then single, and workday, and lastly midday, daytime. This information could suggest where to place flyer hands-out during lunchtime when singles are coming to eat lunch. If they stop to look for more information, chances are that they will be more inclined to take a flyer or stop for a quick chat about what you have to sell. This time, start with filter down activities to families, over the weekend, and at the foyers. What better way to spend a rainy day than using the indoor play area in a shopping center? Kids can go wild while mums and dads are sipping their well-deserved morning or afternoon coffee. Knowing which play area is the most frequently visited, I can place pop-up baristas to the west wing. Not only that, but this information is also useful to allocate cleaning staff to those sections where more families stop. Cleanliness is super important at PBI Mall. And as a last example, pick the elderly on a workday morning and select where they enter the mall. Instead of using touch screens to help them find the shops that they are looking for, make it easier for them by placing moving kiosks at those places where they stop more frequently. Seemingly, it is the P1 car park. Once again, it's about making their experience better to ensure that they will come back to the mall and increase our visitor count. All of these examples are going to drive a better visitor experience, therefore more and more people are going to come back and spend more time in PBI Mall, which in return potentially lead to higher rents for my mall. You see, visualizing activity data in Power BI enables me, the owner of the shopping center, to make better decisions and drive better sales results. Then I can use another Power BI report to check how much space we rented out, see income, and all of the more traditional sales report elements. It is something that I have shared before, so don't forget to check out that video. I'll add the link to one of the corners above. As I mentioned in the intro, this is just one example where you can see that Power BI goes way beyond the standard sales reports. Many of us use Contoso sales data during our tutorials, as those are the most widely adopted reports and they are needed in multiple companies. But with some out-of-the-box thinking, we can visualize much more, and at the end of the day, we all try to understand numbers and data quicker, easier, and use them to drive better decisions. So it's time for you to get the guesswork out of your business and start using Power BI. If you have any questions about how to better utilize your data, feel free to reach out to me or leave a comment below this video. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope that you learned something new and interesting from today's video and you will be able to implement this for your reports. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons before you leave or before you watch one from the above tutorials. Until the next one, see ya!